You see this orange man? He will not cease to amaze me. So whenever we are thinking that we are done with this, we automatically get into a new stage, a new phrase, blah blah blah. Do not get me wrong. Allegedly, I am not saying it is false. I am not saying it did not happen, but I wanted to hear from the mouth of the Americans themselves. I want you to listen to what they have to say about this particular incident before I say whatever I want to say at the end of this video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted, though. You guys are absolutely the best. And with that being said, let's watch. I'll be back with commentaries.
Last night's alleged assassination attempt of the President of the United States. Now, people are asking, real or fake? But let me show you something. Let me show you how long it took for them to evacuate him versus how long it took for them to evacuate J.D. Vance. Let's watch, shall we? All right. That was ridiculous. First of all, hi, my name is Jody. I'm a storyteller here on TikTok. I share stories and observations. If you like my stories, please go ahead and push the magic button. Okay, so I counted. I counted exactly how long it took from the time J.D. Vance stood up and was ushered out to the time they finally get Trump up. He trips and falls. They hoist him out of there. Around 15 seconds. Why is the Vice President of the United States ushered out first? Why? It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you watch, you see them. They're like watching, looking, guessing, suspicious, but nobody moves. 15 seconds is a lifetime. It doesn't make sense. So, do you think this is real or staged? And is there a reason why they just sat there with Trump for God knows how long? Let me know in the comments. Bye.
Lights.
I just want to go find you.
Camera. Action. Please try and make it more believable next time. You were trying to convince the world that this mad crazy scientist has managed to get in to a high security building armed. Yeah, and he's got past all the security guards, even the metal detectors. And then we have Erica Kirk going for her next Oscar nomination.
I just want to go find you.
Meanwhile, Kash Patel is just chilling. He's chilling, he's just sat there. No fucks to give. The director of the FBI. Does anybody genuinely believe this? Be honest.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold it 19.
Can we all stop for a second and just admit that one of the most iconic moments of last night's incident during the White House Correspondents' Dinner is this featuring Kash Patel. This is the director of the FBI, who should be one of the most immediately involved people in what happened last night in Washington, D.C., crouching under a table and looking around a little lost, a little scared, while other people, including several women in evening gowns, are standing up to see what's going on. That man, who is supposed to represent the apogee of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the man who's supposed to represent the top level of the top law enforcement agencies in the United States, instead of springing to action and understanding what's going on, decided to crouch down and wait for directives. If this image, a man entrusted with the enforcement of the law in the United States, crouching behind a table and standing next to a woman who's left there fending for herself during a moment of potential and imminent danger, if that image does not describe to a T what the current administration looks like and stand for, then I don't know what does.
Is it me, or is it funny that almost every large MAGA influencer this morning are saying the same exact thing? Almost like they got a script or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence, huh? Yeah. This had nothing to do with, him wanting that ballroom. His poll numbers are the worst of any president in history. He is floundering in the Middle East. And even if he fixed that problem tomorrow, we still have the files. And I'm not here one to, say, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. But goddamn, how many times do we have to go through this? It's played out.
What the fuck was that fiasco down at that correspondence dinner with Donald Trump? First of all, this was Carolyn Levitt before the dinner.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great.
Now, they're grabbing J.D. Vance before Donald Trump. What the fuck is that about? And then Donald Trump just tried to use this to justify and advocate for the new ballroom.
It's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
I don't like when people insult my intelligence and try to make me feel like I'm not seeing what the fuck I'm seeing. And I'm just saying that a coincidence, okay. A couple, I'm side-eyeing. Every single time your name is down in the media and you're trying, what the fuck is actually going on?
USA! USA! USA!
So that was Trump Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino, who it looks like shares Trump's hand size, according to this frame. And this video was taken during the incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner the other day. And yes, he tried and miserably failed to hype up the crowd by chanting, USA, USA. During an active emergency, he dug as deep as he could and tried to pull out this little magic trick, hoping to recreate, I guess, a Butler, Pennsylvania moment. And clearly and understandably, he failed miserably. Not at a Trump rally, not during a post-emergency press conference, during the actual event, while everybody else in the room is quiet, more than likely trying to listen for directives or at least to understand where the danger is coming from, Scavino started shouting and acting more awkwardly than Kash Patel in the Team USA locker room this winter. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is the caliber of people that the sitting president of the United States surrounds himself with for advice. And of course, when they're not advisors, they're close enough to the administration that they're invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, only to then take a kissy-face selfie immediately after the incident. This is the hands we're in now. This is the administration that history and voters dealt us. And that's why I'm not surprised that child poverty rate in the United States has tripled in the last 3 years, while we're spending $1 billion a day to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Oh, hey, so somebody tried to kill the president again at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Here's some of the scene. Now, as someone who has been to many events in DC, including seeing Trump speak at the DC Marriott, this was during his first term at a realtor conference, when he came to speak, the hotel was completely locked down. There were multiple concentric circles of security. It wasn't just one security line and, hey, there's the president. You were stopped at the door of the hotel, at the entrance of the conference center, and at the doors of the ballroom. This guy apparently sprinted through one Secret Service line, shooting one of the officers in his bulletproof vest and then making it all the way into the ballroom where the president is. And this conveniently follows Trump's ballroom getting shut down and the fact that he may have to reveal subcontractors for the top portion. $400 million that he probably dished out to his buddies. He also happens to be currently trying to end the Homeland Security shutdown. And the second the assassination attempt is over, Trump is talking about both of these things.
It's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Oh, and he also just learned that he has the lowest approval rating in history. I am not going to say that this was staged. I'm not.
Because it's giving Manchurian Candidate. What exactly were we supposed to do with this information? Now, you guys already know that there was a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner by a person by the name of Cole Allen or Alan Cole, but that part doesn't even matter. Now, yesterday, as the event was taking place, I got this from ABC7 from Chicago. They said that that man was dead, which is kind of interesting because I woke up this morning and he was very much alive. Now, last night, I went to bed and they said this man had a pew-pew. Then I woke up this morning and they said he didn't. Now, according to the mixed reports, apparently this guy was Teacher of the Year one year, and he was also a guest at the hotel. He was staying at the Hilton. So when he arrived to the security booth, they just assumed that he was going to be at an event in this like rotunda area where they have like different sets of ballrooms, because according to the news, if you believe these reports, there was other events going on outside of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So that's the reason, quote unquote, why he was there to begin with. And then you had Erica Kirk coming in crying, looking crazy. Which again, a lot of people were crying. They didn't know what the heck was going on. Now, my question is, what are we supposed to do with this information? Like, it's just so conflicting. It's so like, it makes no sense. Like, the president doesn't go to a White House Correspondents' Dinner in 10 years. He decides to go, and then this random shirtless guy just shows up. And then my question is, why was he even being entertained at the security booth without a shirt? That's the part I'm not understanding. And why did you let him get in that far? And where's the gun? And wasn't he supposed to be dead?
This is a photo of the man who allegedly attempted to assassinate President Donald Trump. His name is Cole Allen. He posted this to his Instagram profile before it was deleted. Let's take a zoom into the logo on his sweatshirt. Does that look familiar? It does, doesn't it? It does. This whole thing was already sus, but like, come on.
I was there at the exact moment that President Trump was rushed off the stage at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, just moments after they heard gunshots. And I want to tell you about what exactly transpired in the moments that led up to that really big incident. I'm clearly safe. I'm back home. I'm going to make coffee, so kind of sit in because there's a lot of things I noticed that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people don't know this, but the White House Correspondents' Dinner takes place every year at the same place, and it's the Hilton Hotel. It's a public hotel, and even though it starts at 8:30, we were told to get there hours in advance because given the fact that President Trump was going to be there, it was going to be a lot of security. And they were right. Just even walking up, they blocked off several streets, and you just started seeing the closer and closer you got, more and more security, more police, more Secret Service, you name it. And I started seeing a lot of protesters kind of gathered in different areas around the hotel itself. Now, this is important context. When you're walking up, a lot of the security asks to see your ticket or some QR code. Basically, a lot of media outlets, They have these kind of like cocktail hours. They're also taking place in the hotel. But I noticed even to try to navigate to the areas to go to some of the cocktail hours or events that are happening before the actual dinner, there was not that much security checkpoints that the actual attendees had to go towards. I mean, I checked in making sure, hey, yeah, am I on the list to go to this? But as far as having someone look through my purse or going through metal detectors, I didn't actually have to do that until about 2 hours in, when I actually had to go to the main event itself. And just to even go to this event alone, you didn't have to undergo any type of security measures or protocols. The layout to actually get to the ballroom, you see there's metal detector, you see more security, you kind of know that you have to wait in a longer line. And this is kind of what it looked like. But when you got into the ballroom, it is hundreds of people. I mean, it's packed to the brim. You have people standing around trying to find their seat. And I remember when I finally found my seat, they were already serving the first course. My husband at the time was waiting in the lobby. And I'm going to tell you why that's actually really important to what I'm about to say. And he was waiting in the lobby. The whole plan was, hey, I was going to spend some time at dinner and then head back with him. A band started playing. President Trump comes in, he starts sitting at the podium. This is where you have a lot of the White House Correspondents Association members are sitting there. I actually got a phone call at the time, and they were telling me my son was just running up a fever. And so I was literally on the phone trying to make sure that everything was okay and that he was fine. And all of a sudden, I just hear a scream from the other side of the room, and I just hear people yelling, get down, get down. And immediately people started moving to under the table. People started crouching down. I started seeing people running from the opposite side, trying to get to where we were, because all the commotion was coming from the opposite side of the room. I started seeing Secret Service members climbing over the tables, trying to get to certain Trump administration officials. When I was looking at the podium, just trying to understand what was going on, I started seeing Secret Service gather around the president and escort him out the room. Now, my husband at the time was texting me, my dude, there's barely any service. And so I didn't really know if I could even send out messages. None of my messages were sending out, but I received one, and he said, hey, what is going on? I am seeing, like from the lobby, he said that he was watching it on the television, the speech, and then he said, saw was the security guards, Secret Service just start running across trying to get downstairs, and all someone would tell him was like, something's happening down there. And so now he then starts trying to run downstairs, arguing with the security guards, Secret Service, that are not letting him pass, and because he's just so worried that something really bad has happened. And then at the same time, me and a bunch of people that were in the room were trying to leave, but a lot of security were not letting people go at that point in time, and we had to wait about 30 minutes to actually finally exit the building. But even then, that area was contained with police. You started hearing a lot of helicopters in the area. My husband then went outside, and he said that he had to run about 10 blocks in the opposite direction just to basically make a huge circle to run to me, because there was so much yellow tape, and the police presence then really cracked down and were like, no, people cannot either leave or go this way. And so the whole ordeal after the fact took about 2 to 3 hours to get to a place where we could leave together. So yeah, that's a little bit of my night yesterday.
So yeah, there was a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night. A room full of politicians, media, and Washington insiders. The shooter was apparently targeting Felon 47 and his administration. But here's the thing. The majority of Americans don't give a shit. This country has been dealing with shootings for years. Schools, grocery stores, synagogues, churches, concerts, malls. Places people are just trying to live their lives. And every time it's the same bullshit. Breaking news, public statements, thoughts and prayers, then nothing. So when it happens to a high-profile, invite-only event in Washington, we're looking at our gas prices and saying, okay, next. Welcome to the reality everyday Americans live through. This is the same violence the rest of the country has been expected to live through for years. I go to church every Sunday and look for escape routes in case a shooter comes in and doesn't get me first. How crazy is that? The only difference now, it's happening to people with real power and money. That's why the reaction from people isn't shock. It's they don't give a shit. It's people looking at this and thinking, this is what communities have been dealing with over and over without real change. Maybe now that it reached Washington elites, they'll care. Because historically, attention only happens when these things happen to people with power and money. And maybe that's what it takes, but I doubt it. And then there's something else. Online reaction has been telling. You've got coordinated posts circulating afterwards, like the ones floating around maggot-aligned accounts, pushing the idea that this moment is somehow tied to the White House ballroom narrative, framing it through politics immediately. And because of that, you also see people online saying that it was staged. That's where the public trust is right now. But if we're being honest, the only thing the world really cares about is, you know, we are all waiting for that day. The day we all pop open the champagne to celebrate. And that's the read. If you like your tea hot, share it, save your seat, and follow for more. This is the Notorious JTB, notoriously opinionated, signing out.
Okay guys, so during the shooting that happened tonight at Trump's White House dinner, a reporter from the New York Times that was hiding in the bathroom when all this was going on, he caught Kash Patel's girlfriend holding hands with a different guy, and then he reported on it right when this was happening. Like, I need you guys to imagine being Kash Patel right now, because that is the most insane way to find out that your girlfriend is doing shit with a different guy. Like, that's actually insane. And you know, I felt bad for Kash Patel when I first found this out for maybe like a split second. Then I just remembered that it's Kash Patel. But also at the same time, can we just point out this amazing journalism that happened? Like, right when this was going down, this guy was able to report on this when he saw it happen.
I'm just going to say it. I would believe Erica Kirk was telling the truth before I would believe that what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight wasn't staged. Because I've been to events at the White House, I know the layers of security you have to pass through, and you want me to honestly believe that someone got through multiple metal detectors, multiple screenings with a weapon, managed to fire it off 3 times before being taken down. They rushed the president and the first lady and the cabinet out, and now they're going to fucking resume the event. If somebody really did get through all those levels of security with a weapon that they managed to also fire off, that's a massive fucking security breach. You would not resume the event. That doesn't make any fucking sense. What's more, to the press that are terrified in that ballroom, or were terrified in that ballroom, I can't imagine what that's like, but I want you to remember that every student in this fucking nation does, because that's just a tiny fraction of what these kids experience every goddamn day.
Let's check in on Trump administration officials at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night as shots rang out. This was Stephen Miller and his pregnant wife.
Go to your right. Go to your right.
Here's FBI Director Kash Patel sitting there doing nothing. And then afterwards acknowledging he has no clue what's going on.
You guys have any idea what happened in there?
Ma'am, I know. I'm sorry.
And here's J.D. Vance. And then RFK Jr. with his wife here trailing behind. And of course you got to see Erica Kirk.
I just want to go find Susie.
Now let me tell you exactly what happened. It wasn't a shooting at the White House press correspondents' dinner. That's not what happened. This was an orchestrated embarrassment. Their attempt was to embarrass President Trump on the world stage. There are world leaders there. It was like when they cut the escalator off. This was designed to stop before he could give his speech and go on stage. This is anti-Trump. That's all this is, bro. This everything. The Democrats and all these people that he's catching, stealing and doing all this shady shit, and they're getting locked up, bro. This is all that evil underworld shit behind the scenes. Like the news media, they control it. So before Trump gives his speech, there are reportedly shots fired somewhere in the Washington Hilton Hotel, but no one's injured. There were no shots. This was designed to embarrass and stop the speech. That's all this is, bro. This is just a campaign against Trump.
Just look at Dana White's reaction at Trump's assassination attempt.
Guys running in with guns, and they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
So you were on the aisle. What exactly did you see?
We were sitting right in front of the table.
Okay.
Right in front of where the president
was. Yes. And what exactly happened? So someone got tackled, or like what?
Nobody got tackled, but guys came in looking for shooters. and they came toward our table. I thought the shooter was over by us or something.
That's Dana White for you. Dana White is the type of guy, he loves action, the UFC owner, right? So for him, an experience like that, especially that the shooter was not in the room, probably helps the experience. I'm pretty sure if the shooter's in the room, you wouldn't be standing up with a head up high, right? He didn't manage to enter the room, from my understanding. What do you guys think about this reaction?
Anyways, welcome back, guys. I filmed the end part of this video with my camera, but my camera just crashed down, so some of my videos will also crash down alongside. That is why I have to now come back and then film or conclude with this. You guys can literally see who these people are. You guys can literally see what these men are capable of doing. See, at first, the first time I saw this video, let's be honest, I asked myself one question. I was like, how did we get here? How did we get someone with pew, someone with knife, with other sharp objects, to get into a place of dignitaries, to get into a place of politicians, to get into a place of high class, just like that? A common teacher. A common teacher. So it's kind of surprising to me. And do not get me wrong, I'm not insulting teachers, right? I'm just saying in this aspect of what we are actually discussing concerning this video. That is why a lot of Americans are saying there is a foul play playing out somewhere. There is something wrong somewhere that we need to know, that these people need to come out playing to let us know. This is not just ordinary what is just happening. This is not what it's supposed to be. This thing is being planned. These are some of the words of some Americans, if you guys watch from my video. And guys, some of the comments I see in some videos are very deadly, honestly, where you see a lot of Americans are not even having any sympathy for any of these people, but they're asking questions like, how did JD Vance get evacuated first and fast and quick before the honorable president himself? I think in a situation like this, we should know that the first target is the president, right? So the first target that is the president should be evacuated first. But how did we end up evacuating JD Vance as fast as possible and then coming back to evacuate the president so slowly, sluggishly, and the rest of that? I don't know how they were able to cook up that. I really do not know. Look at the other clips as well, where at the end of the day, these men were coming for them to interview them, because yes, we have press there. What actually happened today? A lot of them were just making joke of everything. Like, for crying out loud, someone brought pew, someone brought gun, someone brought something that would have unalived someone, that would have taken someone's breath. And they're just laughing about it casually and make it look like maybe we're coming here to play with them or we're coming here to joke with them. And that is why a lot of people are not finding the story. They're not buying the idea. They're not buying what they are saying. They're just saying, oh, these people are making fool of themselves. They think they can actually come deceive us, but they cannot deceive us. They're just deceiving themselves. And of which, to some extent, I think I have to see reasons with people saying that as well. But let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think is your own opinion? I want to really get it in the comment section. And credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. And let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.